Channel 7's exclusive new poll in the Republican race for governor points to a fight to the finish for the nomination next Tuesday. Good evening. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Stephen Clark. The poll shows 3 of the Republican frontrunners in a statistical dead heat. 400 voters, the self-proclaimed nerd Rick Snyder, he's leading the pack with 26%. Attorney General Mike Cox coming in second place. He's got 24%. Congressman Pete Hoekstra is right on the heels with 23%. Factor in the margin of error, plus or minus 4.9%. And, of course, we've got an incredibly tight race on our hands.
Now, rounding out the Republican side, Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard comes in with 10% of the vote, followed by Tom George. And with just 5 days left, 14% are still undecided.
As for the motivation behind their choices, 9% say they agree with the candidates' positions. Another 9% say their vote is based on experience. 8% say they're supporting a candidate based on their business background. And another 8% say they're supporting their candidate because the individual is not a politician.
Now, to help us make sense of it all, we're joined right now by Channel 7 pollster Bernie Porn via Skype.
Yeah, it seems, Bernie, like voters are a bit split on this one. Some candidates doing well because of experience. Others are getting turned away because they're not experienced politicians. So what are you reading all this?
Finish, and everything will depend on turnout. And when you look at the numbers in terms of intensity to vote, if it is a low turnout election, those voters who say that they are most likely to vote would slightly favor Hoekstra. When you get into the less likely to vote levels, which would be a higher turnout, well, then that favors Snyder. And it will be an interesting night to see who comes in first.
Bernie, quick question for you. What made the difference for Rick Snyder? How did he jump to the front of the pack? I mean, was it the nerd ad campaign, or what do you think made the difference?
Well, it's a combination of the nerd ad campaign and his high expenditures of advertising pushed him up by 6 points from 20 to 26%. And you have Hoekstra and Cox somewhat in a battle, with Cox attacking Hoekstra, so I think that resulted in a slight slippage for both of them. I don't think that the recent news regarding the Manoogian mansion or any of that necessarily cut and was part of the reason for the slippage. No one mentioned that in terms of reasons for their votes.
Okay, they've got a couple days, Bernie. Just really quickly, what do they got to do if they want to take over this pack?
I think all 3 of these candidates, in order to get the 7 or 8% out of that 14% that are undecided, they're going to have to really work on their ground game and try to turn out the vote. And everything depends on turnout.
All right, Bernie, as always, thank you so much for that. And we invite you to stay tuned to Channel 7 and WXYZ.com. We will, of course, have full up-to-the-minute coverage of all the races in the August primary, which, again, is coming up fast next Tuesday, Carolyn.